Sunday, September 1, 2 little coins in the offering. Read Mark chapter 12, verses 41 to 44. How much did the widow give, and what did Jesus have to say about that? Mark 12, beginning at verse 41. Jesus sat down opposite the place where the offerings were put, and watched the crowd putting their money into the temple treasury. Many rich people threw in large amounts, but a poor widow came and put in 2 very small copper coins worth only a few cents. Calling his disciples to him, Jesus said, "Truly I tell you, this poor widow has put more into the treasury than all the others. They all gave out of their wealth, but she, out of her poverty, put in everything, all she had to live on." The Jerusalem temple was an amazing, beautiful structure. The Temple Mount dominated the city, and the massive stones involved in its construction are a marvel to this day, some weighing hundreds of tons. The remodeling and expansion of the temple and the Temple Mount began under Herod the Great around 20 BC, but the construction and embellishment of the structure continued into the AD 60s. Many people brought large offerings to deposit in 13 chests located in the court of the women near the temple. It was here that Jesus was sitting when he saw a widow approach and cast in 2 lepta. This would be equivalent to 1/32 of a denarius, the usual wage for a day labourer. Hence, the woman's offering was quite small. Jesus, however, was impressed by her offering. Many rich individuals put in large sums, but he did not comment on their gifts as they deposited them. But this widow's offering called forth his praise. He states that she gave more than everyone else. How is that possible? Jesus notes that they gave out of their abundance, but she out of her poverty. They had much left. She gave everything she had to live on. This fact makes her gift extravagant, even though its monetary value was tiny. This story contains a deep lesson about the management of resources. Giving to God's cause does not depend on the actions of leaders to have validity. The religious leadership of the temple was corrupt, but Jesus did not thereby affirm withholding offerings. If ever there were corrupt religious leaders, Caiaphas, Annas, those at this time were among the worst, and Jesus knew it too. It is true that leaders have a sacred responsibility to use resources in accordance with the will of God, but even if they do not, those who give to the cause of God are still blessed in their giving, as this woman was. On the other hand, withholding tithes or offerings when leaders do something displeasing means that the giving is tied to their actions instead of being made in thankfulness to God. However tempting it may be to do that, it's wrong. And so to finish today, what should this story teach us about the importance of being faithful in what we give to the Lord's work? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful.